dog tags have been scanned successfully.
Yo, can you hear me?
Your teammate will return to the battle when the next revive flight arrives. Using bandages now.
The airdrop is coming.
Yo, yo, yo. Yo, yo, yo.
The revive flight will arrive in 1 minute.
My audio went off, and I've been having audio issues.
Yeah, that's what this game's about. Fucking audio issues all day.
What the fuck?
Yeah,
Yo,
it's annoying.
355, where are you at, man? Give me a med, yeah? Yo, 355, where are you at, man? Give me a med, yeah? I'm dead.
Using first aid kit now.
Never mind.
Using first aid kit now.
Oh, I got lucky. A kilo bolt action? Hell yeah. Oh, I got it. Yeah, I got it.
Teammate is on the revive flight.
Who died? What the fuck?
We can land here.
Apples, you died? Nah.
No.
Vaga died, right? Vaga a girl? I would think so.
Using first aid kit now.
The steering's a little weird on the fucking vehicles, I'm not gonna lie. It's too sensitive. What are we firing at? What are we firing at?
I don't know, I'm not shooting.
Oh.
The revive flight will arrive in 1 minute.
I haven't seen one person this whole fucking game.
Chip terminal.
Using bandages now.
Oh, they're over here. They're over here.
Enemy spotted.
You guys are all the way over there.
The safe zone is collapsing.
Using adrenaline shot now. Engaging the enemy. The airdrop is coming.
Damn, that was crazy. Ah.
The revive flight will arrive in 1 minute.
Dude, there's a drop on me, dude.
Is that
Nice. Alright.
Using adrenaline shot now.
The airdrop is coming.
The revived flight will arrive in 1 minute. The revived flight will arrive.
Yo?
Chip terminal is almost ready. The safe zone is collapsing. Enemy at range. Engaging the enemies. Changing mag. Enemy spotted.
In the house, right, Apples?
The revived flight will arrive in 1 minute.
Engaging the enemy. Enemy down. Reloading. Cover me. Enemy eliminated.
Using adrenaline shot now.
Holy shit, dude. Look at how many freaking... Oh, fuck.
Down to the last 5 teams.
Use an adrenaline shot now.
Hey, let me know if you need, any...
I'm down.
Your teammate has been killed. Get the dog tags and help them return to the battle. Enemy at range!
two up there?
The last revived flight will arrive in 1 minute. Don't give up. You can still return to the battle.
Lame.
Your teammate has been killed. Get the dog tags and help them return to the battle. Your teammate has
Nice
been
try,
killed.
dude. Fuck.
Chip terminal is almost ready.
That was fun.
Hey, why are y'all kicking me? This is Dookie.
No one's kicking you.
I wanna. No, I heard you say you're gonna kick 355.
Well, your microphone was too loud.
Oh, that's why everybody put me on mute.
That's
so I
right.
was talking to myself the whole time.
Of course.
Oh, I feel depressed now.
You should tell your sister to shut up.
All right.
Just kidding. I swear to God. Or just go into the restroom.
All right, bet.
Restroom's like the office, bro.
Why would I take him out?
Why did Apples leave?
I don't know. Well, you don't have to leave because he thinks. I don't know. Who cares?
Alright.
How many physics do we got? Physics on the chart. Physics have a lot. 9, 11.
Alright.
Solve the problem.
Alright, cool. We are live. We are ready to go. I'm gonna mute my mic though, man. We'll play some games, but I'm gonna be muted up.
About that bad guys from World War II submarine base. And it's interesting, Jimmy, because whoever wrote this, they talk about their grandmother being a member of a society of gifted females. And when you look into the Nazi story, they were getting a lot of their information, especially the occulted wackadoodle stuff, from a bunch of chicks who were in communication with off-world entities. And I think some called them the Vril. But they were the Thule or Thule Society. Yeah. It sounds like this guy, or whoever it is, his grandmother, was connected, right?
Yeah, that's what it's sounding like. It's his great grandmother.
I know far too much speculation about Antarctica. It's scary. This is going to be a good show, Jimmy. It is.
Yeah, I think so too. Because it's I honestly, before, I mean, I've thought about this over the years, you know, many times. You know, I've thought about, you know, this specifically, like what's under that ice, you know, that kind of thing. And actually, there's a chunk later on here that describes some of what they were doing, what they did, and you know, and the thing that seduced me originally too is, you know, I'm a firm believer that what we see as far as
time for this. Get ready.
And I mean, that's always what I thought. I never thought they were coming from far, far away. And so, a lot of it talks about, or it doesn't even say it's a he or she. The name on the thread is from the person's from New Zealand, and it's Antarctica.
Well, Jimmy, what we'll do is, right, because there's a lot of stuff to get into here, but
later. Bye.
The grandmother, society, and I think we're just about to take it from there.
Yeah, and so this is basically the opening thing where this person posted this and said they would answer questions. So that they posted this, and then a bunch of people answered questions, and then the person comes back and answers a bunch of the questions. So we can slip after we get done with this. We can slip over to the other section. So here we go. So these humans stated that they were. You want me to? Let me back up. So they were. So his grandmother was a member of the Society of Gifted Females who used mental and then later technological means to communicate with humans.
That sounds like that sounds like some kind of feminist activist group, doesn't it? Like some woke group. The group of what do they call them there? The Society of Gifted Females.
Oh, the feminists?
Yeah, it would be a good name for one of these woke groups over on Twitter, though, wouldn't it?
Oh, there you go.
There you go, see?
Well, okay, so these humans stated that they were originally from Earth, and they were directed to lead Earth out of its current dark age and back into an age of prosperity and abundance. They stated, we used to be a great civilization but had fallen. The ETs directed this society in many technological principles, mainly the extraction of free energy from space-time using torsion generators and negative space. See, that sentence right there, when I was reading this, that was the sentence right there that made me want to keep reading it beyond, thinking this is just, some, threat or whatever. So I'm going to read that again. The ETs directed the society in many technological principles, mainly the extraction of free energy from space-time using torsion generators and negative space. They also directed the contactees to go to Antarctica, and that was where the proof of our civilization lies.
Ship terminal is almost ready.
So, Antarctica is Atlantis. Many expeditions were sent to Antarctica, National Socialists. It was discovered that underneath kilometers of ice, volcanic activity had carved an immense cavern, some kilometers high, and the size of entire small nations. Many artifacts were discovered, and many abandoned pieces of technology were found and reverse engineered. A colony was then established, and a colony to which the great-grandparents who were Hanubu scientists for the SS at this point were sent. So some sort of Hanubu scientists for the SS, for the Nazis, were sent. My grandparents and my mother.
I think that was their flying disc, allegedly. Yeah.
There you go. My grandparents and my mother were raised in this colony, which is now a nation of several 100,000 people. My mother was a civilian Antarctican and had been allowed to travel to the surface world in order to see the flaws/benefits of the surface system and to choose whether she would rather stay or go back. It is almost opposite of Amish Rumspringa. As where she is from, technology is far more advanced, and thanks to the mastery of electrogravkinetics, vril, energy is abundant, and there is no scarcity. She chose to stay after meeting my father, a Scottish Mason, in South Africa, where I was born. I am happy to answer any non-military questions regarding the Antarctic colony and its people,
The revived flight will arrive in 1 minute.
as their current way of life and technological capabilities. I will ignore all negative posts.
So is this person claiming to be a citizen of the Antarctic colony today?
Let me see here. Let me roll back on this here.
It seems that way, right? She chose to stay after my father, so she stayed there, right? Yep. And he was born in South Africa, or she was born in South Africa.
Yeah, she chose to stay after meeting my father, a Scottish Mason in South Africa. So this must be the child of the Scottish Mason and the woman whose is it her or great grandmother? I don't know. I'm not sure. But anyway,
this is pretty interesting, right? Because we know that there was definitely the submarine base, right? I mean, we know that they had great interest in what was going on down there. Was it New Schwabesland? Or New Schwabesland, something like that. But if they had that down there, and we know the stories that we talked about, at the heart of it, there must have been personnel. There would have been people, permanent personnel. I remember in the signals, we used to laugh and joke, but tongue-in-cheek joke, because it would be like a punishment posting. They would send you to the Falkland Islands. The Falkland Islands is like not a kick in the bum away from Antarctica. And they would call that, they would literally call that like the punishment postings with the penguins. 6 months at the bottom end of the world with nothing to do. But my point being that where there's military activity, there's got to be personnel that go there to man the place. I know man isn't very politically correct. They person the place, right? But so there's got to be somebody down there. So if there's somebody at some point, Jimmy, you'd think that there's some lineage, that there's going to be people, their grandparents, are down there.
Oh yeah, they're down there right now. They're there. They're still there. I mean, and apparently they're living in a world where there is no scarcity. So hey, I just dropped that next section in there.
Well, I've got the web page up here, so I'll take
you do? Yeah. Okay, great. Sorry about that, bro. I didn't know. Go ahead.
No, I've got it so it says that. So the next bit says, I'm just gonna make sure this is the same person. Yeah, as I touched a nerve with someone who doesn't want anyone to know. That must be the cheeky poster that Jimmy's talking about. And the guy who's making the post says that our menu do not want others to know. All information that has been hidden has been compiled and will be released eventually. I have nothing to do with that. However, I do have 3 generations of compiled understanding of the world and universe for what
Your
it
teammate
really
has been killed.
is.
Get the dog tags and help them return
It
to the
says,
battle.
oh, are you still there? Also, this crystal charge you spoke of, could you elaborate further on it? Because it sounds familiar. Thank you. I spoke of visualizing a crystal sphere to fill with energy. It's simply a way to visualize a complicated process. Regarding crystals, most of our technology is based on crystals that are growing in specific standing wave chambers in order to impart specific qualities and responsiveness in each. A crystal is a 3D representation of an underlying electromagnetic field. Wow. So that's pretty cool, Jimmy. Yep, crystals, man.
I know, and they're grown, right? Yeah. So they're grown in these standing wave caverns or whatever. And when you think about when you go underground, you see some of these stalactites and some of these growing things that are in some of these caverns that you can go into. This is amazing information, like I said.
I'll squeeze this last one in here.
This one here?
Well, yeah, it's a short one. We'll probably get a couple, but it says here, is there any way to contact them or go to this place? And they're talking about the inner Antarctic, the inner Earth, this place, Atlantis, if you will.
The revived flight will arrive in 1 minute.
Using a means that is non-internal combustion. You may contact the Antarcticians.
Yeah.
And many other. I'm trying to give them a brand new spooky woo-filled name, Jimmy. And many other ET races using an entanglement conveyor. A type of instant communicator that uses a laser and penning traps to read-write the quantum state of an entangled particle.
Is almost ready.
So they're talking about a communication device that has a laser and penning traps to read-write the quantum state of an entangled particle. So if you've got entangled particles, that's what they're working on right now in China. And the Department of Energy, they've got the quantum internet that's using entangled particles right now. So, yep.
Plus, let me just rewind like 4 minutes ago when you were talking about people being able to communicate to each other over vast differences, and you said they were entangled somehow.
Yep. Yep.
There you go. Entanglement conveyor belt.
So it says, I'm happy to help you build one.
Watch out,
I
zombies
have the
incoming.
knowledge if you have the means. This applies to any technology I mention here. I will assist with construction if you have the means. Astral travel is prevented by multi-dimensional shielding. Only the invite may astrally travel to Antarctic nation. So even if you're like remote viewing or trying to, like it says, astral travel, it's going to be almost like an ethereal firewall. Like the black
revived
kid,
flight
you
will
ain't
arrive
getting
in
in
1
unless you get an invite, right? You're almost like a vampire. You need an invite to get into their crypt, man.
Doesn't it make sense? Because you know Admiral Byrd, he had that elongated skull.
Yeah.
And that's the reason I think they talk about Admiral Byrd in here at some point.
We'll definitely get some. If not, I'm gonna squeeze one more, and you've got me now, Jimmy. You've got me.
All right.
You've got me.
Excellent.
So it says here, will work in Atlantis for food. So somebody said, just feed me and I'll be your slave. So it says people in Antarctic nation do not work for food. Scarcity is unknown to our people. We have unlimited access to all resources. New matter can be created from hydrogen out in fusion reactors, and scarcity is something imposed on the surface to keep you struggling. In fact, the entire surface population could be supported in a city the size of Texas, and the food could be aquaponically grown in a Florida-sized space. While this is obviously practical, it's just an example of how the surface has been fooled into thinking that they have overpopulated and must be culled. There are more than enough resources on the surface to provide every man, woman and child with food, clothing, healthcare, housing, education and a quality of life. Resources are hoarded by the wealthy. It is an interesting system, one I find flawed. Very flawed indeed.
Half of the teams are
He's
eliminated.
right, or she's right.
Excuse me, it's ma'am.
How dare you?
They do dare though, Greta. The 1% that you unwittingly act as a stooge for,
Loving the
Greta,
conversation right
The
now.
are the
revived
ones
flight
that
will
are
arrive in 1
hoarding
minute.
everything. And you might think that you're their darling and you're gonna go on and be the queen of the eco world, right? Wrong. They despise you as much as they despise us as well. You ain't in their club. Using a child to front up their grab for more and to leave us. Oh, don't worry though, we'll all be sustainable, right? Yes, indeedy. So, we're going to come back into this on the other side. Very good stuff. Where do we go? Where do we apply? How do I get the astral invite to get through the firewall?
The Antarctican. Yeah, I mean,
No, the Antarctician. I made up an entirely new race of people, dude. It's like cool.
Yeah, man, and I'll tell you what. The thing about it is this guy's coming back every day and answering questions from the day before.
Well, we can't get him on the show, man. You have to get him on the show, Jimmy.
Oh, okay, I could try.
I've got a voice change. I've got like voice changers and everything I can use, man.
All right, well let's continue. I mean, maybe he's gonna.
Before we go at the break, right?
Dude, yeah, I'm on the edge of my seat. Man.
Question:
I got
if why is it not used by us here on the surface or shared with us? Well, that's obvious. It's to keep us controlled. There are several reasons, and the main reason we do not share the technology is that our council does not feel that the surface world would be ready
The revived flight
for
will arrive in
unlimited
1
power.
minute.
The main reason your governments do not share the military technology with civilians is that there's an oil-based economy to sustain, and you are considered no more than slaves. Now, I want to say right here and now, away from the world of godlike productions and just me talking to you now, folks, just me here. no line from no website. I think we are moving into a
Down to the last 5
post-oil-based
teams.
world, and it's happening very, very quickly. Now, I know we've all been kind of conditioned to say this is all a bad thing and it's all Agenda 21 and 2030, and absolutely there's aspects of it that are absolutely evil. But at the same time, this is an opportunity for us to be looking at renewable energies, doing things where we are getting back in some kind of harmony, some
Careful.
kind of
Poltergeist
unison
is nearby.
with the land, our Mother Earth, all around us. Join us on the other side, and no more party political work. But it's not all grim on the other side. 1 more hour to go, don't go anywhere.
Only 2
We'll
teams
be
left.
right
Getting close to
back.
victory.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, hour number 2, and I've got myself and Jimmy Jeans are here, and we are going down the Antarctic rabbit hole. We are dipping our toe into the madness, the craziness, the sometimes good woo, often incredible woo of the forums. I remember
You
when
were
I
the
was
jump
first
leader.
starting
Good
out
luck.
and I had somebody, one of the webmasters at Before It's News, asking if they could scrape me. I know it sounded a whole lot more personal than what I thought it was, but literally anytime I post on my website, they scrape that article and it gets published on Before It's News. And I used to think this was brilliant until I started to realise just what kind of stuff was also on Before It's News. Now, don't get me wrong. There are nuggets of gold to be found from time to time. But we have to be honest, we have to be logical, and 99% of the stuff you find on forums is fiction, and the other 1% is utter lunacy. But who knows? And I tell you what, like Jimmy said to me when he was describing what he had found on Godlike Productions, there's a lot of stuff in here that definitely connects to other information we've talked about before. And in the end of the day, we're not telling you that this is 100% factual.
Welcome to Battle
In fact,
Royale.
if we were going to
The match
LARP
is
on it,
about
we
to
would
start.
never have told anyone where it came from. We would have just said, I got a phone call. I got a phone call from a guy going by the name of
Time for the mission. Get ready.
Deep Face, and he was telling me we tell you exactly where it's coming from, and with that tension, that's it. I think I'm ready. I've got my cold weather gear on, man. I'm ready to get back down there.
Sweet. Well, you know, I just got myself a hot cup of coffee, but you know, hey, listen, ladies and gentlemen, if nothing else, let's look at this right here, and let's just say this is any information that you can find anywhere.
Yeah.
This is how the LARP gets started. This is how it starts. Is that somebody finds this and they see it and they start to get it out there and they start to promote it and it starts to gain steam and it gains legs.
You see, the way I see it, Jimmy, is there's people like, there's maybe real info, but mostly probably people like making yarn, right? But then when you use something like Godlike Productions or Before It's News, if you're tier up the LARPing, grifting ladder,
First blood.
you could really look at something like a forum and it would give you the information you need to jump on the trending topics that's going to bring you the clicks that you're after in the first place. Because I know that most of these forums will have that 17th layer, I don't even going to mention that, but it'll have your Antarctica. It'll have all of the best kind of conspiratorial topics out there. And then from there, potentially, these upper tier grifters can come along and go, yep, that's trending today, I'll make a video about that. And like Jimmy says, they'll lift some of the info from there, And that's how it all gets going.
Not only that, but see, if I'm a grifter, okay? If I'm a grifter, and you're the type of brother that believes in ghosts, if I know you believe in ghosts, and I know you do, then I know you believe in things you can't see, and if I know that, then all I have to do is
But we're getting
entrance
way
you
off the
with
mark
some
here, dude. We're
story.
getting away from Antarctica.
No, but we're grifting, though. We're grifting. Okay,
revived
sorry
flight
about
will
that.
arrive.
I
Yeah,
got
we're
started.
getting away in the weeds when this is good woo. There's good woo waiting to be
Let's get into it. Go ahead.
backed here. Yes, here we go. Where are we? Right, so this is the next one, right? I don't have a question, more of a request. Have whatever your elders are preparing for start. Have whatever your elders are preparing for start, because if she left recently, as in the 20th century, to go to South Africa, then she must have seen how horrible life is rapidly becoming.
Chip terminal is
Claiming
almost
to have
ready.
secret power over a group of people is either the oldest BS story in the book, or is brought to fruition for all to see. It says, I will not comment on the politics of the surface world. They're irrelevant. You are several billion strong. Stand
The
up
safe
for
zone is
yourself.
collapsing.
Wow. So it says, what's your first name? And his name is Shadrach. I like it. Shadrach is a cool name. Yeah. It says here, cool post. My uncle worked as a physicist in communist Bulgaria. When I visited him there in the 1980s, he related a similar story. Yes, the Eastern nations embraced the science of Nikola Tesla and evolved many advanced technologies as the West suppressed even their brightest, using the Invention Suppression Act of 1951. Another question here, fascinating material. Comment, why do peeps like OP show up and deliver some interesting info and repost and then disappear? Happens all the time here on the forum. Leaves me wondering if the message is legit or just somebody yanking our chains. Well, there's various ways of looking at that. If it's a genuine whistleblower, then you've only got so much information to get out there. And once you've got it out there, it's out there. And maybe that's them happy. Maybe it's off their chest. Like the person hints here. Maybe it is just a game. Maybe people are just making these things up and on to the next one. I don't know, but it definitely gives us a good place to have a conversation. I'm trying to find a good bit of... This looks like a good bit of info.
Yeah, you're coming up on the giant chunk that's really important.
So it says, Plato was very specific about Atlantis' location in the Atlantic. It was a series of islands that sank over a period spanning tens of thousands of years, with the final portion, Poseid, sinking around 9,600 BC in the area where Brimini is currently located. You read this one out already, did you not? That's the one you had read, is it not?
Yeah, that was the guy's comment, and then you're about to get to the guy's answer. So
Okay.
Shadrach is about to answer to that.
Shadrach, I love that name. Shadrach says, you're entitled to believe whatever rings most true with you. However, consider this. What Plato wrote was a story, not a history. Atlantis was not a city, nor an island. It is a word used to describe a global, interstellar human civilization that the current age fell from. After the great battle of the last age of man, it was decided that humanity should not have access to the great technologies that brought about the wars and destruction. An artificial satellite was constructed to keep the greatest nation, the Antarctic continent, on the bottom of the Earth. The moon was constructed and placed in orbit in order to alter the axis tilt of the planet, and the hydrosphere, a water rock that used to surround the Earth, was collapsed, and the resulting flooding caused the waters to rise over Antarctica, which then froze due to its new placement at the bottom of the Earth. Your thoughts on that then, Jimmy?
Well, It reminds me of, you know, some of the stuff that David Icke put out a long time ago about the moon and how, you know, it is hollow and, you know, there was people up there, whatever, you know, it's this, I don't know what it is, but I mean, it's funny just, I mean, out of the blue, clear blue sky, you know, here's this, this explanation, and I mean, some people...
I take David Icke and all of them out, but Jimmy, think of it this way, right? Think of an eclipse. Think of how perfect, right? How perfect that moon is. Like, it's just the exact size, and it's just the right distance away for us to have that. Not just slightly, you know, the two cover the other. You're talking about a level of precision that if we're talking about bits of dust and rock coming together,
The revived flight will arrive in 1 minute.
forces and you're telling me that all of those things lined up to randomly gave us that lovely, beautiful, majestic eclipse type light show in the sky? All random. It just happened. It was just bits of rocks they clumped together, Kev. It's okay.
See? I am Shadrach from Antarctica.
Yep.
I swear, man, see? This, I mean, this to me, I mean, so far, I'm still with it. So far, I have not thrown it on the
I like it because it's got a lot of stuff that we can talk about. And it is what it is. You know, it is what it is. We're not saying it's real. Even the person's not, like, appealing to us to believe them or you know, forget about it. They put it out there. And the stuff that we can talk on the side of it, that springs off it, that's what makes KBS, dude.
Hey, so this next one is exactly what I sent you.
Warning, EMP drone is about to strike.
Yeah, that might get a bit too into the science weeds for now when I want to. Because this is good stuff, right?
Yeah. You know, I think Victor Schumann is the Schumann that discovered the Schumann resonance, which is something that you talk quite a bit about on the show. And I think it's something that, for me, I would think a human being needs the Schumann resonance to exist. So I would say that the magnetic field and the Schumann resonance that this guy's talking about is definitely a force to be reckoned with, and hopefully we're going to hear some more about it. Did we bounce down to the next one?
I'm just looking for the next one. Thank you for your patience. 5 stars from me. Can you tell us,
next one.
Can you tell us more about the bad guys?
The revived flight will arrive in 1
Something
minute.
to do with the Antarctican people? Did the USA truly walk on the moon's surface? Or how did they went through the Van Allen radiation belt? Actually, how old is the Earth? And it goes on to say, and he's going to answer it here, I hope. Number 1. Okay, so the National Socialists from back at that time in World War II did not go to the moon. I do not know much more other than it's artificial. Question 2, did those same bad guys
Chip terminal
have
is
something
almost
to do
ready.
with the Antarctican people? They are our ancestors, yes. I will not comment on the bad things that happened, except to say that no one's ancestors are innocent. We chose to move on, that is all. Awesome! So you see, they haven't got any this historic guilt attached to them. You don't see them having to go to, like, all these kind of privileged classes and stuff like that. They've ditched all that. Oh, I want to head for Antarctica. They've got it sussed down there. So it says here, the USA truly walked on the moon? Question mark. And it says about the Van Allen radiation belt. The answer is the NASA program has not sent anything past the Van Allen belts. Oh, so it's hinting at the fact that there was never a moon landing. So how old is the Earth? Question mark. Timeless. Deep. Deep, very deep.
I am your father.
Let's see.
So, the thing about it is that it's interesting up until this point because, you know, I mean, the Earth is timeless. That's interesting. How far does the Earth go back? Way back. How far back? Nobody knows. It's timeless. That's a pretty bold statement, I would say.
This is a good one here. Talking about other programs that have been to the moon. It says absolutely other programs, but not public ones. Not to the moon. Not to Mars. You need a localized magnetosphere to counteract the effects of radiation and interstellar solar winds. Only a Haunebu or Hanabu craft offers this protection. Now, if the technology that drives our craft were released, then free energy from the vacuum would replace the oil industry. This is why Hollywood makes the NASA parts. Oh, that's quite interesting. Yep. Talks here about how humans survive the Van Allen radiation belt. Traversing space is not linear like folks do here on Earth. Almost hinting at the fact that you'd be able to somehow maybe fold space. I don't know. Warp drive. That Hanabu, the fact you've got that magnetic shield around you. That negates it, isn't it? It's like a force field, think of it that way. Again, we're just speculating, but the device pictured below creates a localized magnetosphere around the craft, which, as long as the craft is aloft, not grounded, can be used for unheard of propulsion techniques. Oh, very interesting. I'm going to send this to the chat room.
The revived flight will arrive in 1 minute.
This is interesting because I mentioned earlier on in the show that this kind of physics, this kind of craft we're talking about, do we have an example or have we seen anything like it? And I said, well, you could look at the Tic Tac video. Now we've got a shape of a thing. It's almost like like a toroid almost standing up on an end. Kind of Tic Tac shape.
Chip terminal is almost ready.
Did you click on that link for that picture?
Yep.
Nice.
Okay, so 10 minutes before the break, I'll get the next page up here. We'll see what the next page is saying.
Shadrach.
Yeah, old Shadrach, eh?
The Antarctican. I am Shadrach, the Antarctican.
You see Shadrach, yeah. Where are we?
Come, let me show you the secrets of the universe.
Okay, here's something here before Jimmy goes into more crazy voices. It says, OP, humans visited other star systems, ? What's the maximum speed that these so-called Hanabu crafts can go?
No PUBG.
Let me explain something very important. Earth is the creator planet. All ET civilizations began as human civilizations on Earth and have colonized other systems. They adapt their bodies for the specific needs of their local environment, so they appear alien. And it says Hanabu. They can go at an unlimited speed.
Can you hear me?
They don't travel through space. They create negative space that sucks the craft into it. Almost like some kind of...
What up, yo boy? What up, dude?
I'm just bored.
Yeah.
I'm bored.
Yeah, I'm not bored. I'm watching, I'm listening to a podcast. So it's like, they're talking about, the possibility of what could be underneath the Antarctic ice. It's a very mysterious place. No one goes to the Antarctica. And what could be under there? They're saying that there's people that live underneath the polar ice caps. They're called the Antarcticans. Really interesting talk, dude. And this is my friend on YouTube. His name is Jimmy Jean. And the name of the channel that he runs is called Into the Microcosm. And this is my friend. His name's Jimmy Jean. and the show's Into the Microcosm, and it's really, really good, man. You gotta check it out one day, man. If you think you're bored, dude, there's nothing to be bored about, bro. There's so much to learn, bro. What you learn in school is not even the 1% of what you need to know about life. What you got to know about life is the ancient science, the ancient culture, the ancient religion, and actually reading the Bible. It makes all of that stuff that I mentioned. It makes sense of it, because the Bible is an old manuscript, and you could use that to decode what's happening with what you're learning. And it's beautiful. It's a beautiful freaking process. So don't be bored, dude. Don't be bored. Matt Psycho, what's up? We're talking about Antarcticans, people that live, well, possibly could be living underneath the ice caps of Antarctica. So let's.
You're gonna do 3-person?
Huh?
So we're gonna do duos?
Yeah, let's do duo squads, man.
Oh.
Always fun. Always fun to do duo squads.
I was thinking about the challenge, right? Like the rarity challenge. Oh my god, what is that? No,
Max! Just lower down the volume over there, dude. What up,
I'm
Shy?
not hearing an echo, that's good.
Yeah, it's Shy. It's Max. Max has an echo.
Oh.
Alright, hold on.
Alright. So the rarity challenge is like...
Alright, so what we do now is we go to this.
If you get a kill with the gray weapon...
Then we go back into the YouTube channel, and we hit
maybe
that premiere.
wormhole type. I'm just trying to think for people to picture it. I'm just saying.
Well, yeah, because it makes sense that when my energy field comes into the earth, I come here as Jimmy, and I'm born. It's like my DNA. It goes beyond what goes on here on Earth. So my DNA, wherever my energy goes, my DNA will materialize me a vessel to utilize in that environment, as it sounds to me like what they're saying. So, for example, when these grays come in or whatever, they're just coming in as that gray, you know, as a sort of like an avatar from someplace else. But I mean, we're also doing the same thing when we're being born, and I think it's interesting because, and just recently, over the last couple of years, the bloodline idea has been almost replaced with conversations that have been being had about these different DNA lines. And that seems to be a really touchy subject. So this really makes a lot of sense, Kev. Please continue. I'm on the edge of my seat.
You know, this is really good stuff, really, really weird. I'm gonna come back to this screen things here. I'm loving this. I'm glad we went down this road tonight. So it says here, questions again, right? Does the Antarctic nation accept civilian visitors? 2, assuming they do, when people from the surface join your nation, is it a one-way ticket? Do they simply become missing persons here on the surface, or have their accidents faked, etc.? Number 3, was it political, power structure, or what is the political power structure of society there? Number 4, what is the main language used? So we come to the actual answers. Says, do you...
Time for the mission. Get ready.
Let's do this.
Or do you use magnets and motors? What we use what you would call meta material. Now that's interesting, right? Because To the Stars Academy had a role what they called meta material not long ago. And it says here, they are not just magnetic, but ordinary aspects of electrical conductivity, gravitic and magnetic properties. Does this energy need to be regulated? Absolutely. It could cleave the entire planet. Does this energy need to be stored? No. It's freely available. And of course we can look at Nikola Tesla and various other physicists along the way tapping into that. What do you use for storage devices? Ha ha ha. No danger. Crystals are growing in a vril field that is specifically tuned to the energy we wish to harness. Now I'm laughing.
Yo, it's a nigga
I think
to the right.
when we had Felicia on the show on Monday, we were talking about crystals there, and I was talking about how maybe everything's maybe even stored, like a library of Alexandria. Jimmy, you know?
Go ahead and kill him.
Weird. How do you transmit energy to devices once collected? Using quantum entanglement, or standing wave coupling.
Where is he?
Do you consume monoatomic gold?
I need a gun.
Yes. This allows our physical body to directly interface with technology on a cellular level. So, we hear and we learn in this one little part here that we're talking about a cybernetic type breakaway civilization.
That must have felt me.
The revived flight will
They're
arrive.
talking about their bodies interacting, directly interfacing with technology on a cellular level. Now, Jimmy, before you take it, I'm not somebody that immediately balks at the idea of this if it's done right and there's ways that it's advantageous, okay? But we're going to be on the break. And I want you to hold that thought for when we come back, because the music's going to kick in just a moment. I want to take this chance to remind people, stay tuned. Because after today's show, wow, this has been a head melter. But we're going to have Lucky with Quantum Connections. But we'll be back on the other side, don't go anywhere.
You kill him.
Engaging the enemy. Reload here, cover me. Poltergeist is nearby. The safe zone is collapsing.
Oh no. I need heals.
Enemy down. Using bandages now.
Oh, he's somewhere around.
I got him.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We're moving into the final part of today's Petv show with me, your host, Kev Baker, and we've got Jimmy Jeans here as well. Jimmy can be found on his YouTube channel. Jimmy, let people know where they can hang out with us. The maddest man on YouTube. And that takes some doing.
I know. Well, now I'm on my secret, double secret channel. It's Into the Microcosm with Jimmy Jean. And make sure you say Strike Zone after that. Because I have a strike on my main channel.
You and the noise step, man. Have you followed the algorithm?
You know what, man? I took the algorithm out. I partied with the algorithm.
You've got to be the person who, for me, you literally purposely go through the algorithm. I'm going to throw content at you and I'm going to see what sticks. I'm going to see what gets by you. It's like some kind of mad judo going on between you and the algo, man.
You know, I spent so much money on drinks for that algorithm. I bought that algorithm so many drinks down at the bar. I thought everything was okay. But the algorithm just used me. You know, just used old Jimmy, tossed me out and threw me a strike. And not only that, when he threw me the strike, to add insult to injury, some video I made like 2 years ago was on there. And there was some little chunk from 1979 that somebody had a piece in there from a documentary they didn't like, and they gave me a copyright strike too. So now I don't get to come back till December 25th.
Pesky buggers, right? Anyway, I'm gonna ask you again, right? Because this is where we finished up the last time.
I forgot I had
kind of finished up by finding out that these people, the Antarcticans, they're actually a cybernetic society. What's your thoughts on this, Jimmy, before we go further on it?
Yeah, because I was harkening back to the original salvo up there where he was talking about his great-great-grandmother having these abilities that she at first were natural and then later on involved technology.
Get my tag if y'all can.
And so this must have been, there must have been a moment in time when these people from Germany that came here, there must have been a moment in time where they advanced enough to understand the technology and to move into this next wave of being able to communicate.
Be careful.
It's an interesting, I mean, this is, like I said, I'm on the edge of my seat. I mean, so
pretty
far.
cool, man. Pretty cool. So it says, can you transmute water into anything else? We can transmute any matter. All matter is simply compressed hydrogen. Do you think, or do you drink anything other than water? Shadrach, beer and wine is abundant.
Follow me right quick.
Awesome. Is there any element that you have that is not on the periodic table?
Use an adrenaline shot now.
There are several hundred unknown to you. There are multiple levels within higher vibrational frequencies. So it says,
I say, yeah, get out the circle.
Just an excellent from
I'll say, get out of there.
He was just quoting what he said before.
Get the dog tags and help them return to the battle. Airdrop has been delivered.
Shadrach.
No.
Okay, so, no, that's not
oh,
much
yeah, you should have killed him.
Line of thought there. He says every human is an has an electromagnetic detector.
I think he's
Is he still there?
In the center of your skull that can be used to communicate with
Went
one
towards his
another.
own.
Now, in the shows that we've done with our
I didn't have
Australian
no, like,
friends, big shout out to Luna, Donnie, Ken, Jess. They talk about the Bush Telegraph.
Oh, yeah, get out the circle. Get
When
out
they
the
came on
The
the
revived
show,
flight will arrive
Bush
in 1
Telegraph, I was thinking, what's that all about?
Dog tags have
Telephone?
been scanned
Out and out
successfully.
back? No,
Your teammate will
literally,
return to the
Bush
battle when the
Telegraph
next
is where
revived
you
flight
can
arrives.
sync my mind to your mind,
Yeah,
your
it's
mind to my mind. Like the whole kind of mind melding that kind of goes on. It's but only this is real. This is a real thing, and again, this is why it's important for us to be in tune with the planet. Like Jimmy mentioned the Schumann resonance earlier on. It does all tie in. And once you're in tune with the planet, then it only makes sense that only then does your machine, your body, your mind start to work more powerfully.
It's the
It
longest
says it's called the
medium I did.
pineal gland. Discussed earlier many times on this forum. Hi Shadrach, I am Dean. Have you ever attempted to intervene in the surface world affairs? At what level and what sort of contact do you have with any of the world's various institutions?
Where the hell, where you at?
Nice to virtually meet you, Dean. You do not interfere unless the event would cause an extinction level event or affect our nation. For instance, you will often notice our craft disabling nuclear devices. We will not allow
yeah, I know it's a gun over there.
I've watched a stunning documentary about UFOs and nuclear sites, nuclear power stations, nuclear weapons tests.
Just for Fortnite, I would
Quite
made it.
anomalous when you look at the statistics of how many of these UFOs pop up around these places, around silos. Rendlesham Forest, for goodness sake. I mean, nobody even knew that the Americans were storing nuclear warheads there at the time because it was against every kind of pact that had been signed, the Warsaw Pact, NATO and everything else. There wasn't meant to be anything there.
The revived flight
That's
will
where
arrive in
in
1 minute.
1980 we had our most significant UFO sighting ever. And it came out that, voila, just like I'm saying, these UFOs, they didn't pick out RAF Bentwaters just because it was there. No, it's because potentially it was housing nuclear warheads at the height of the Cold War. Now the story goes that the next day there was like footage taken directly from the UK to a German Air Force base. And what happened from there, nobody knows. I'm not saying this proves what's been saying here.
Chip terminal is almost ready.
It fits. So it says upgrades.
I mean, and so, you know, that's the thing when anyone's ever discerning information too, is the thing is like you're reading through something and how many abstract bits of information are you holding in your head that also justify some of the things that you're reading, that you're hearing, and you immediately start aligning. So you're saying, oh yeah, man, this resonates with something, and this resonates. I mean, wait till we get to this next little chunk, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, this is an intense piece that's coming up here from Shadrach the Antarctican.
Here we go. So it says upgrades. The sun is a plasma anode cathode. See, I'm already in love. You had me at plasma anode because this is tying in with an electric universe. Which, listen, I ain't no physicist. Damn, I was trying to help my son with his electronics kind of homework the other day. I ain't even, like, an amateur crap person at electronics.
Using first aid kit
From
now.
what I've seen brainy people talking about, people who are intelligent, that electric universe makes a whole heap of sense. Not only that, you can recreate things in the lab. Yeah, you can actually recreate things.
The revived flight will arrive in 1 day.
And that's what science is meant to be about.
Hey,
It
bud.
says the sun is a plasma
Can't stay on this job.
I am not good at that.
tied to the Earth's core. And the singularity or central sun. The sun and central sun project electrokinetic energy vortexes on which DNA molecules align, forms, and functions. Your body and DNA are directly linked via a type of electromagnetic connection to the sun and central sun. And as the central sun sends out a signal reaching us now, the solar system gets an upgrade, as do the creatures. The central sun is intelligent, and it uses its projections as nodes through which to gather more
Ooh, I'm
data
sniping,
and experiences. So this thing's got an upgrade going on now. So
Oh, he got me down.
coming down, I
The dog tags to help them return to the battle.
Yeah, we're each projections of the central sun. The central sun. Maybe all those references to the sun we've been seeing. Maybe it doesn't mean the sun in the sky. Maybe it means the central sun.
So it says,
No!
Admiral Byrd, we need to get into this because Admiral Byrd's journals are interesting, but have an included element of fallacy. He and his troops were indeed in the Antarctic nation. They were rescued by one of our scout teams. Yes, most who are familiar with Tesla should understand the basics of this technology. It is at least 100 years old at this time. It's simply been suppressed. There are many surface dwellers that power their homes and farms using technology in secret. Reich, Schauberger, Tesla, dark nights of science.
So
Good stuff, man.
Schauberger is
Jeez.
You are the jump leader. Good luck.
8th place isn't bad, right?
Welcome to Battle Royale. The match
Schumann,
about to start.
but that's his real German name is Schauberger.
Schumann's a German name, so why isn't, like...
Time for the mission. Get ready.
Not sure. I thought of that myself, and I thought to myself, maybe it's because there was something associated around his name was also on the list or something. So he was on the list.
Okay, I found more woo here. Right. Says we are indefinitely or we live indefinitely, sorry. Our bodies do not deteriorate.
We can land here.
Time. We are not immortal, but are still accidents. But far back, we live indefinitely. Right? Let's read that again, right? We live indefinitely. Our bodies do not deteriorate due to time. We are not immortal. There are still accidents, but bar that, we live indefinitely. We use an entangled sheet of standard wave Tesla energy to transmit matter from point to point on the surface. The machines are simply tuned to the same quantum frequency now. Think about that. A sheet. Just think of like an electromagnetic layer lying over the top of everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
And in this, what it's trying to say is, because it's entangled, I could sit here and manipulate one of those particles on that layer that goes round the planet.
Damn, it's hella leaks over here.
Who it is and where it is I'm trying to get to. I'm trying to get to Jimmy here. He's going to see his little particle that's entangled with it immediately, instantaneously, the minute I go playing with it, touching it, communicating through it. Entangled comms. Interesting. Doesn't mean that, again, me and Jimmy ain't here telling you, whoa, we have found the real whistleblower. But the things that it brings up, the things we can point to, the topics that it gets going in the mind, this is what KBS is all about, because at the end of the day, no matter to me or Jimmy what you think, what you believe, just so long as we can make you think about things, maybe in a way you didn't think before. You don't have to agree with us. In fact, it's better if you don't, because then you might even start challenging your own beliefs as well. So it says here,
you know, what if there was like some lore around this information, like, you know, there was some construction site over there and the guy was bashing through the wall and he found these scrolls that were written on parchment paper.
This doesn't even need that. This has got enough woo attached to it, Jimmy.
That's what I mean. It's like the Colburn Bible or something, man. It's incredible.
It says we use what you would call UFOs for long-distance space travel. Hanabu or Honabu flying disc
terminal is almost ready.
Our craft use electrogravitic vortices to produce a localized space-time field that envelops the craft. They are capable of traveling through atmosphere, water, and space. Hence, unidentified submergible objects. There you go. They are capable of vibrating at high enough energy to pass through solid matter as well. What is the purpose of life? To create new universes. I would say then to add to the already vast multiverse. That'd be an even cooler way of putting it.
Oh yeah, we in a circle.
Each human sees the universe in a new way.
Use an adrenaline
and the electromagnetic energy of that observation is uploaded into the universal etheric field as an original observation. It's a giant AI learning machine.
Let's go!
Your body is one of the manifested electromagnetic forms. You are the timeless observer driving a body. Your DNA forms on and responds to the fields and creates a body that corresponds with the best form to have at that time. You have no junk DNA. So just like an AI would, like Cliff High, when he had the webbot. Remember he used to like send out little clone copies, little crawlers that would go out there and analyse what people are writing on forums like this and other places as well. All little versions of himself. It's suggesting that we ourselves are extensions of that AI. We're more kind of specific. We're down here to record things with our webcams, with our microphones, as well.
The revived flight will arrive.
Hold on.
Data, Jimmy, all of that data, just like anything on the internet, anything that's out there analysing data. We ourselves are just raw data collectors, man. How cool is that? Who knew it? Data eaters, was it?
Yeah, but I mean,
I don't know, dude.
We do know, though. We do know because the concept of God is that we're creations and we come from God, and each one of us is completely unique and has never been part of what's going on before. And our experience that we have, it goes back to God.
Jimmy, let me go with you on this. I've had this thought before, right? We talk about artificial intelligence, right? Wouldn't one way of thinking about God, whatever that is, we don't have the ability to even conceptualize it, I don't think. But wouldn't that be the purest form of raw intelligence? Like, just intelligence, not artificial. We came from intelligence, right? Because you look at the DNA, you look at what we're talking about, you look at the coding, and even away from what we're hearing here about it knows to grow the optimum body, etc. I mean, that in itself, you can't tell me with everything that DNA encodes and all the math in there that it's just random.
What's going on,
That
Logan?
hints at
What up,
something
Tarveen? Good
divine,
morning.
Whether it's a guy in a throne with a beard, whether it's an intelligence, whether it's a programmer, whatever it is, dude, it's something's got it going, right?
Well, and the other thing is too, man, from the representation of the sun and the Son of God, if the big sun in the sky is the main sun, and the central sun is where he's saying that everything goes back to, right? So the central sun is some sort of a processing unit.
Well, you
with a
think,
direct
think as well,
electrical
Jimmy, right?
connection.
Think about the grounding we talk about, right? You're outside,
Enemy
the sun's
spotted.
going in through your head. You've got this other energy coming up through your feet.
Yes.
See what I'm saying? Yep.
Shadrach the Antarctian.
Oh, Shadrach is nailing it, dude. I'm actually going to put the show as guest star in Shadrach. I am. I'm going to
Nice.
put like a blacked out face, somebody anonymous, make it look super, super cool. Don't need to. This is
The
good
revived
stuff,
flight
Jimmy.
will arrive in 1 minute.
So we carry on here. I'm going to look for where Shadrach's talking again. Oh, here we go. As we stated before, we know scientifically that the region, or this region of the universe, follows a set of physical rules. Without those rules, the local universe, atoms, stars, etc., so everything from the subatomic right up to the macro, the biggest you can imagine, would not exist. The rules of physics are based on the central star, or black hole for each
Chopper there.
space-time region. This energy source sends electrocymatic waves that compress the local ether into what is commonly called matter. Gravity is a byproduct of stretching of space-time ether as the energy condenses to form matter. Take a blanket and lay it flat. This is space-time. Now take 2 points and twist them to a point. You will notice that there is now more space-time compressed into the vertical space.
Let's go!
And the 2 points are also closer together. Gravity. The ether is now the ether is a non-compressible fluid. Matter are 3D vortices caused by a cycle of supercymatics from the central sun. So basically, yes, reality is projected from our central star. These the subdivision countries are simply to keep you from uniting. No weapon formed against me may prosper. It is my purpose to assist in the release of ancient technologies and the revival of the golden
The revived
age.
flight will arrive in 1 minute.
Into the real world, because away from this website, away from anything on the internet, in the real world, physical world, there is a turning of the age. The age is changing, and we're here to witness it. Whether we're here as the observers or not, we're here for the greatest light in the universe. And people that run the planet, they know that we're in one of these times right now. Why they're so desperate to make sure that they're in control of
Ship
everything.
Moving.
Thousands of acres are growing. I'm there. It's a primary food source.
Yeah, I thought I was
Seed,
tripping,
once
huh?
sprouted, has all the nutrients a human body requires. Absolutely correctly, 100%
Using
true.
adrenaline shot now.
Truly a superfood. The plant matter and oils can be used for virtually
I
everything.
niggas thought I was
From
tripping. Hell
contemporary
no.
clothing to furniture and paper and beyond. There's been cars made out of hemp. You can do everything with it. It was poised to
EMP drone is about to strike.
Primary pulp for paper. So a racist smear campaign was run against it. Look it up. In addition, the human brain evolved cannabinoid receptors for a reason. This plant and humans are meant to work together. And I find that when I have that symbiotic PPP relationship, this spacesuit works a whole lot better. That's all
The
I
revived
can say,
flight will
Jimbo.
arrive in 1 minute.
I hear you. And you know what? This idea about this cymatics is really interesting because we've seen examples of cymatica where you hit something with the frequency, say like 432 hertz, and it creates a powerful light pattern. And you hit it with a 440 and it creates this really deteriorated, ugly pattern. And it's interesting because maybe it's how they moved that stuff in Egypt. It's how they moved that stuff was with these types of ideas, man. These types of technologies that were utilizing frequencies and harmonics, and to move items that are large, just have them floating in the air, basically making weights.
I'm just laughing because our good friend ZX is like, oh come on. This is nonsense. Like any good sci-fi, they're just sprouting things off there. And listen, dude, I know where you're coming from, but at the same time, I think it's made for some really good conversation tonight. And I don't know about anyone else. When Jimmy brought it to me yesterday, I totally balked at the idea. I'm like, oh come on, Jimmy. You know, forums, come on, Jim. And then today, when the guest cancelled, I thought, well, it's good, it's Antarctica, there's a bit of Atlantis to it. We'll go there. I've had good shows with the doc about that kind of stuff, and I tell you what, I'm glad I did. I'm glad I did. And at the end of the day, I declared many's a time where we're getting this from. I didn't at any point do the kind of blue chicken thing and say, listen, I got taken out of my bed one night, and you won't believe this. And usually when somebody says you won't believe this, you won't. But no, I didn't get given this a bunch of like multicolored hippopotamus on Neptune. Nothing like that happened.
The revived flight will arrive in 1 minute.
It is what it is. And I like how it does link in. You know, whoever's written this, whether it's true or not, it's a damn fine piece of woo, because it links into so many real topics. And here's the problem. And this is the more serious thing. You see, this is what is at the center of every good LARP.
That's right.
Information that's got just enough factual stuff that you can not even totally prove, but you can relate to. Then it like Jimmy says,
Using adrenaline shot
convinces you, it seduces you in
terminal
more.
is almost ready.
And then it's the stuff that's a bit more out there. That, hey, the guy proved himself 2 out of 3 times already, I'll go with it. And that's, ladies and gentlemen, that's the hallmark, the template of every good LARP. Yeah, there's a story in there, but it's the bells and whistles you need to watch out for. And Jimmy, this has been a multi-dimensional, multi-layered show. Awesome tonight. Because great woo, great info, thank you. And not only that, at the same time, without anyone knowing, and I kind of realised about the second segment we were doing, that we would finish off the show by saying, for every bit as good as this is, beware the stories that sound like this. Because these are the ones that you end up falling hook, line and sinker for. Jimbo, it's been a blast.
Hell yeah, this has been a good one, Kev. Thanks for having me, man. I appreciate it.
Oh, I've loved it, dude. I've loved it. You see how it all comes together on KBS? I'll be back tomorrow with Scotty Lopez, toe-to-toe with the Wokies and the clowns out there in the Asylum World 2020.
Hey, good stuff. I have people on me though.
Reloading. Cover me.
Only 2 teams left. Getting close to victory. The last survived flight.
Fuck.
Your teammate has been killed. Get the dog tags and help them return to the battle.
Yeah, they coming right there.
Reloading, cover me!
Hella recoil. Hey, yeah, shoot with that.
We have a
Yeah, kill
winner.
all them.
What were they doing? What up, Bacon? You see that, Lance? Little squad wipe.
The safe zone is collapsing.
Niggas don't want no smoke, man.
Yo, Max, can you hear me? Yo, boy. Good game. Good game. Good game, guys. Whoa. You got 12 kills. Yeah, you did. I finished. I finished off the game good. That was awesome.
I'll have to go do something.
Yeah, same here. I'll see you later, man. Good playing with you. Bye.
Yeah.
Hey, Lance,